Dear children, today's topic is collisions. A collision is said to occur between two bodies either if they physically collide against each other or if the path of one is affected by the force exerted by the other. So here the two bodies A and B. If they physically collide each other, then we can say that the collision occurs. Otherwise, if the path of the B is affected by the force of A, then it is also the collision. Or if the path of A is affected by the force of B, then also we can say that it is the collision. There are different types of collisions are there. Elastic collision. If there is no loss of kinetic energy during a collision, then it is called elastic collision. For example, collision between subatomic particles or collision between the glass balls, perfectly smoothed glass balls. In these cases, there is no loss of energy. That means when the subatomic particles collide each other, the energy is not converted into heat, light, sound, etc. And the perfectly smoothed glass balls, when they collide each other, and there should be no energy is produced. So we can say that it is the elastic collision. There is no loss of kinetic energy. Then there are the important characteristics of the elastic collision. Momentum is conserved. That is, before collision and after collision, the momentum is constant. So we can say that it is conserved. Then kinetic energy is conserved. So the total energy is also conserved. That is the potential energy plus kinetic energy that is conserved. And the force involved during the collision are conservative. That is the work done in that case, that is equal to the work done in the cyclic process, that is equal to 0. And the mechanical energy is not converted into heat, light, sound, etc. So you just go through these characteristics. There is no need of studying deeply. Okay. Then similarly, you just understand what is elastic collision and what is the example. And you should concentrate here. The momentum is conserved, total energy, that is kinetic energy is conserved. Only these 2 points you should remember. Then similarly, the inelastic collision. If there is a loss of kinetic energy during a collision, it is called an inelastic collision. For example, collision between the two vehicles. So when the two vehicles collide each other, there produces heat energy, light energy and sound energy also. Sound is produced and the light is, that means due to the collision, spark produces, that is the light is produced. Then it fire, that means it burns, so the heat energy is also produced. Then the second one, collision between a ball and floor. When a ball collide on the floor, then the sound energy is produced. Okay, so we can say that there is a loss of kinetic energy. And the characteristics, momentum and the total energy is conserved, but the kinetic energy is not conserved. Okay. That is, but the total energy is conserved. Kinetic energy is not conserved because kinetic energy is converted into heat, light, sound, etc. So a part of the mechanical energy is converted into heat, light, sound, etc. Clear? So this is the inelastic collision. Perfectly inelastic collision. If two bodies stick together after the collision and move as a single body with a common velocity, then the collision is said to be perfectly inelastic. For example, a man jumping into a moving trolley. Okay, so when the man jumping into a moving trolley, then they stick together and the trolley move along with the man. So that is an example for the perfectly inelastic collision. So after that, the trolley that is a trolley moves along with the man with a common velocity. So we can say that that is the perfectly inelastic collision. And the fourth one, that is the head-on collision or the one-dimensional collision. So it is the collision in which the colliding bodies move along the same straight line path before and after the collision. The best one example, that is the collision between two railway compartments. After the collision, the two railway compartments move along the same straight line path before and after collision. So it is the head-on collision, or we can say that the one-dimensional collision. And the fifth one, that is the oblique collision or the two-dimensional collision. So before going to this, we can see the example, that is the collision between the two carom coins. You know that after the collision, the carom coins move along the, that means say move along the do not move along the same straight line path, but they are lying on the same plane. Okay, that means one goes like this and one goes like this, etc. They are not moving along the same straight line path. Okay, so if the bodies do not move along the same straight line path but lie in the same plane, carom coins lie in the same plane, but after the collision they are, before and after the collision they are not moving along the same straight line path. One moves like this and one moves like this, etc. Okay, so that collision is said to be the oblique collision. So this is the some introductory part for the collision. Clear? Elastic collision in one dimension. So in this case you want to find out the relative velocity of approach before collision is equal to relative velocity of separation after collision when two bodies collide each other. And also you derive the expression for the velocities of the two bodies in terms of their initial velocities before collision. So here, as shown in the figure, two perfectly elastic bodies A and B of masses m1 and m2 moving along the same straight line with velocities u1 and u2 respectively. Let u1 greater than u2. After some time the bodies collide each other. This shows during collision. After the collision, the two bodies again move on the straight line with velocities v1 and v2. Here v2 is greater than v1. So this is the elastic collision in one dimension. So the body is moving straight line, that is head on, before and after collision. So here you want to find out the velocities of the collision v1 and v2 in terms of the initial velocities u1 and u2. For that we can consider, in the elastic collision linear momentum is conserved and kinetic energy is also conserved. With this concept we can find out the expression for v1 and v2. So first we can consider that momentum is conserved. So how can you write the equation? Before collision and after collision momentum is conserved. So what is the total momentum before collision? That is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 equal to, what is the momentum after collision? m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So we can write here m1 u1, okay, m1 u1 plus m2 u2 equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Equation number 1. Then from this equation we can write the similar terms together, that is here m1 and here m1. So we can write m1 u1 minus m1 v1 equal to m2 v2 minus m2 u2. Okay. Then again we can take the m1 outside. So m1 outside, then inside the bracket u1 minus v1 equal to m2 into v2 minus u2. That is equation number 2. Okay. Then what is the second characteristics? Kinetic energy is conserved. So we can write kinetic energy is conserved in elastic collision. So what we can write? kinetic energy before collision is equal to kinetic energy after collision. So what is the kinetic energy before collision? That is half m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square equal to after collision half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. Clear? Then we can cancel this half. Okay, all the halves we can cancel. Then we can write m1 u1 square plus m2 u2 square equal to m1 v1 square plus m2 v2 square. Clear? Then we can take the m1 v1 square together. That means on this side, left hand side. Okay, so we can write m1 u1 square minus m1 v1 square. This m1 v1 square, when it came here, that is minus m1 v1 square, that is equal to m2 v2 square minus m2 u2 square. Then we can take the m1 outside. Okay, so that is m1 into u1 square minus v1 square. What is the u1 square minus v1 square? That is in the form of a square minus b square. What is a square minus b square? A plus b into a minus b. So u1 square minus v1 square, we can write u1 plus v1 into u1 minus v1. Similarly, here also we can write m2 into v2 plus u2 into v2 minus u2. That is equation number 3. Then we can divide this equation 3 by 2. Okay, equation 3 divided by equation 2. So there m1 will cancel. Okay, m1 will cancel. Then u1 minus v1, that also will cancel. So what is the remaining? That is u1 plus v1. That is equal to, and in this side, that is m2 and m2 we can cancel. v2 minus u2 we can cancel. Then what is remaining? v2 plus u2. Okay, so from this again we can write u1 minus u2 equal to v2 minus v1. That is equation number 4. So this equation represents that u1 minus u2. So this u1 minus u2, we can write this u1 minus u2 equal to u12. Okay, u12. So this u12 represents that suffix. Okay, u suffix 12. So this represents that velocity of 1 with respect to 2. Okay, that is this one, velocity of 1 with respect to 2. So this is the relative velocity of 1 with respect to 2. Okay, so here the bodies are A and B. Okay, here the bodies are noted as A and B. So what is u1 minus u2? That is relative velocity of A with respect to B before collision. So we can write relative velocity. This is known as the relative velocity. Okay, so relative velocity of, okay, relative velocity of A with respect to B before collision. Okay, that is the u1 minus u2. That is equal to, similarly, v2 minus v1. What is the v2 minus v1? Relative velocity of B with respect to A after collision. Clear? Relative velocity of, okay, relative velocity of B with respect to A after collision. Clear? After collision. Clear? Once again, u1 minus u2 means relative. u1 is the velocity of A, u2 is the velocity of B. So u1 minus u2, we can write u12, which represents that relative velocity of A with respect to B before collision. So that is the relative velocity. Similarly, v2 minus v1, we can write v21. that is relative velocity of B. V2 is the velocity of B with respect to A after collision. And this U1 minus U2 also we can write relative velocity of approach. Okay, relative velocity of approach. Okay, relative velocity of approach, that is equal to then V2 minus V1 relative velocity of separation, relative velocity of separation. So what is relative velocity of approach? When the two bodies approaches for the collision, isn't it? When the two bodies approaches for the collision, so we can write U1 minus U2 is the relative velocity of approach and V2 minus V1 is the velocity of separation. So after collision they are separating. So also we can write U1 minus U2 is the relative velocity of approach equal to relative velocity of separation. So thus in an elastic one-dimensional collision, the relative velocity of approach before collision is equal to relative velocity of separation after collision. Clear? Now we can find out the velocities V1 and V2 after the collision. So from the equation 4, okay, from equation 4 we can write V2. Okay, what is V2 from equation 2, equation 4? That is V2 equal to U1 minus U2 plus V1. Clear? That is from the equation. Then you substitute this equation, substitute this in equation 1. Okay, substitute in 1. So equation 1 implies, what is the equation 1? You know that M1 U1 plus M2 U2. Okay, I will write here, that is M1 U1 plus M2 U2 equal to M1 V1 plus M2 V2. What is V2 here? That is U1 minus U2 plus V1. Okay, so you substitute this, that is from the equation 4 we written V2 equal to U1 minus U2 plus V1. Then we substituted this equation in equation 1. Then we can rearrange this equation once again, that is M1, okay, M1 U1 plus M2 U2 equal to M1 V1 plus M2 U1 minus M2 U2 then plus M2 V1. Clear? Then we can take the M2 U1 this side. Okay, M2 U1 to this side. So we can write U1, we can take it outside. So that is M1, this M2 U2 come to this side. That is minus M2 U1. So we can write M1 minus M2 into U1. Clear? Then here M2 U2 and here also minus M2 U2. So this minus M2 U2 come on left hand side. So we can write 2M2 U2. Okay, 2M2 U2. That is equal to, then here V1. Okay, M1 V1, M2 V1. Then we can take the V1 outside. Okay, so that is V1 into M1 plus M2. Understand? So from this equation we can write the V1. What is V1? M1 minus M2 divided by M1 plus M2 into U1 plus 2M2 divided by M1 plus M2 into U2. Okay. So we can get V1 equal to M1 minus M2 by M1 plus M2 into U1 plus 2M2 by M1 plus M2 into U2. Then by interchanging the subscript we get V2. Okay, instead of V1 we can write V2. Similarly M2 minus M1 into, that is U2. Here M2 minus M1 divided by M1 plus M2 into U2 plus 2M1 divided by M1 plus M2 into U1. So these are the velocities after collision during an elastic collision. Okay. So this is the, that is from the conservation of momentum and conservation of energy, we derived this equation. You can also, from the fourth equation, you can also take V1. So here we taken the V2 equal to U1 minus U2 plus V1. Instead of V2, you can take V1. Okay, V1 equal to, that means here minus V1 comes on this side. So that is the V1 equal to, then V2 minus U1, then plus U2. Okay, then like that you will get the value of V1. Then after that you interchange the subscript. Clear? Now we can see some special cases. When two bodies of equal masses collide, let us take M1 equal to M2 equal to M, equal masses. So from the equations, that is from the above equations that we derived, V1 equal to M1 minus M2 by M1 plus M2 into U1 plus 2M2 by M1 plus M2 into U2. So here when you substitute M1 equal to M2 equal to M, then this term becomes 0, and here 2M divided by 2M. So we can write V1 equal to U2. Similarly, for the velocity V2, we get V2 equal to U1 when you substitute M1 equal to M2 equal to M. So here U2 is the velocity of body of mass M2 before collision, and U1 is the velocity of body of mass M2 before collision. Hence we can say that when two bodies of equal masses collide each other, after the collision their velocities get exchanged. That is, the first body after the collision, the first body moves with the velocity of the second body, and the second body moves with the velocity of the first body. After the collision, velocities are interchanged. Okay, clear? Second case, when a body collide against a stationary body of equal mass. When a body collide against a stationary body of equal mass. So the mass of the two bodies are equal, M1 equal to M2 equal to M. Second body is stationary. So the first body collides with the stationary body. So what is the V1 and V2? So from the above equations, that is when you substitute these values in the above equation, we get M1 minus M2, that is M1 equal to M and M2 equal to M. This term becomes 0. Then second body is stationary, so U2 equal to 0. So we get V1 equal to 0. That is, the velocity of the first body becomes 0. First body comes to rest. Then what happens to the second body? So from the equation we can write M1 equal to M2, M1 equal to M2 equal to M. So this term becomes 0. And here 2M divided by 2M. So we can write V2 equal to U1. So what happens here? After the collision, the first body comes to rest. That is V1 equal to 0. While second body moves with the initial velocity of the first. Okay, first body comes to rest, but the second body moves with the initial velocity of the first. So we can write V2. V2 is the velocity of the second body. It is equal to the U1. U1 is the initial velocity of the first one. Clear? So these are some special cases in the elastic collision in one dimension. Second case, when a body collide against a stationary body of equal mass. When a body collide against a stationary body of equal mass. So the mass of the two bodies are equal, M1 equal to M2 equal to M. Second body is stationary. So the first body collides with the stationary body. So what is the V1 and V2? So from the above equations, that is when you substitute these values in the above equation, we get M1 minus M2, that is M1 equal to M and M2 equal to M. This term becomes 0. Then second body is stationary, so U2 equal to 0. So we get V1 equal to 0. That is, the velocity of the first body becomes 0. First body comes to rest. Then what happens to the second body? So from the equation we can write M1 equal to M2, M1 equal to M2 equal to M. So this term becomes 0. and here 2m divided by 2m. So we can write V2 equal to U1. So what happens here? After the collision, the first body comes to rest, that is V1 equal to 0, while second body moves with the initial velocity of the first. Okay, first body comes to rest, but the second body moves with the initial velocity of the first. So we can write V2. V2 is the velocity of the second body. It is equal to the U1. U1 is the initial velocity of the first one. Clear? So these are some special cases in the elastic collision in one dimension. Elastic collision in two dimensions. The figure shows the elastic collision in two dimensions. Here a particle of mass m1 moving along the x-axis with velocity u1 collides with another particle of mass m2 that is at rest. So we can say u2 equal to 0. After the collision, the two particles move with velocities v1 and v2, making an angle theta 1 and theta 2 with the x-axis. So because of this reason, the velocity v1 splits up into two components, v1 cos theta 1 and v1 sin theta 1. Similarly, v2 splits up into two components, v2 cos theta 2 and v2 sin theta 2. Okay. Then now we can see the components of m1 and m2 after the collision. So here after the collision, the rectangular components of momentum m1 are, what are the rectangular components? m1 v1 cos theta 1 along the positive x-axis and m1 v1 sin theta 1 along the positive y-axis. And similarly for the m2, after the collision, the rectangular components of momentum m2. What is the component? m2 v2 cos theta 2 along the positive x-axis and m2 v2 sin theta 2 along the negative y-axis. Clear? Now we can apply the conservation of momentum and conservation of energy to calculate the v1, v2, etc. So because here this is an elastic collision, so momentum is conserved and kinetic energy is also conserved. So first we can apply the conservation of momentum along the x-axis. So along the x-axis, what is the conservation of momentum? Momentum before collision equal to momentum after collision. So what is the momentum before collision? That is m1 u1 plus m2 u2. Here u2 equal to 0. So that term become cancelled. So we can write m1 u1 equal to, what is the momentum after collision, that is along the x-axis, that is the m1 v1 cos theta 1 plus m2 v2 cos theta 2. Equation number 1. Apply law of conservation of momentum along the y-axis. So along the y-axis there is no movement, so velocity equal to 0. So the momentum is 0 before collision. Then after collision, what is the momentum? That is m1 v1 sin theta 1 along the positive y-axis and m2 v2 sin theta 2 along the negative y-axis. So we can write 0 equal to m1 v1 sin theta 1 minus m2 v2 sin theta 2. Equation number 2. Okay, then we can say energy is conserved, kinetic energy is conserved. So for the conservation of energy, kinetic energy before collision equal to kinetic energy after collision. So what is the kinetic energy before collision? That is half m1 u1 square. Then u2 equal to 0. So we can neglect the term and we can remove the term half m2 u2 square. That is equal to half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. That is equation number 3. Okay. So these the four that is from these two that is the first, second and the third equations. From these three equations, the four unknown quantities v1, v2, theta 1 and theta 2 cannot be calculated using these three equations. By measuring one of the four unknowns, for example theta 1. If you find out the theta 1 experimentally, then we can find out the values of v1, v2 and theta 2. Okay, so that means if you find any one of the unknowns experimentally, then we can find out the value of three other unknowns. Okay, clear?